Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Casey. I post about lifestyle, home decor, basically anything that pops into my brain. I love to share how-tos, tips and tricks, all that stuff. I'm just having fun over here and sharing it with you guys. Today, we're actually gonna chat about something that I'm really working on in 2024, something that I think a lot of people are working on, and a lot of the videos that I've watched is just working on spending intentionally. I'd say that I am a recovering impulse spender. I'm still on the road. It's still a journey, but I feel like I've implemented a lot of little tips and things that I've just put into my everyday life that have really helped me, and I've seen so much progress with my impulse spending that I'm really proud of myself for. So I figured I would make a video with some of those tips and hopefully they could help you guys in some capacity. And then we're also going to be doing a little mini Sephora haul, which seems contradictory because I feel like if you're impulse spending somewhere, at least for me personally, it's Sephora. That is a place for me where I talked about this in my February reset, but I walk into a Sephora and I black out. Like, I just come out getting a ton of things that I didn't actually need. But this, I would say, was one of my first just like intentional purchases where I went in, got what I needed, I got out, and I feel really good about it, and I feel really good about what I got. So I'm gonna go ahead and do like a mini realistic haul of what I got at Sephora. So anyways, let's get into those tips. So first of all, as I was saying, I feel I'm a recovering impulse spender. I think that in 2022 and going into 2023, I was someone who would just scroll on TikTok with the influx of content creation and influencers and hauls and all of that stuff. I would see something that I liked on TikTok, I would exit out and I would go and order it online. And I feel like that is kind of the way that the world works nowadays. There is so much accessibility. It's so easy for you to purchase something, to have at your doorstep within minutes. And that can be dangerous. I would have times where I would be scrolling on TikTok and kind of like half falling asleep, kind of not, and order something. And I'd wake up the next morning and be like, huh? Like that is the state that we were in. And so I was like, I really want to do something about this. I really want to tackle this and feel good about the purchases that I'm making. I'm also someone that doesn't want to be in a place where I guilt myself to buy nothing. I've never been someone that's like a no-buy person. I'm this tricky mix of life is short, you want to treat yourself and get your hard-earned money and, you know, have stuff that brings you joy. But at the same time, I also want to be responsible and put things into savings and make sure that the things I'm buying are things that I actually want or need, not things that I think I want or need, or that I think will make my life better or make me more like this influencer, you know? And those are realizations that I've come to towards the end of last year and into the beginning of this year, and I've made some great progress. So the first thing that I've done is that I have stopped doom scrolling on TikTok, which is basically just when you are feeling bored and you just open up the app and you just scroll and scroll and scroll and you look at the time and suddenly hours have passed by. And I didn't even want to be scrolling. I was just, you know, bored looking for something to do and scrolled. And so I've kind of tried to stop doing that. I try to only scroll on TikTok like intentionally. I give myself a set timer for the amount of time that I'm on TikTok. And that's just because for me, I feel like that was the app that was causing the most spending. Within the TikTok app, I've also started to use that not interested button. If you hold down on a video and you click not interested, it will stop showing you videos similar to that. So whenever I have a video pop up on my For You page that's like $800 Sephora haul, or it's like I bought everything at Trader Joe's, like those types of videos I have started to click not interested in. Not because I don't like watching them. I love watching what people get. I love recommendations and learning what people use. I've found so many great products from like hauls and favorites videos and stuff like that, but I think that I just can't take certain hauls like that. And a lot of the times they're just not in, what do people say? The kids say, not in my tax bracket. And I have a bunch of creators too that I followed at one point that were in my tax bracket, that, you know, wore clothing that was in my same budget and all that stuff. And now they've kind of just leaped into a different budget. And so I see the clothes that they have and I'm like, ooh, I would love that. And I look up the bag and it's $2,000. And that's not something that I can afford. So for me personally, I'm like, instead of watching that and having to be like, you can't get that, I would just rather not see it. And I think that that's okay. I think that it's okay to outgrow creators and influencers. I think it's okay to, I have some like creators muted on my stories because I love their stuff and I would love to have it. But again, it's just not in my budget range. And I think that it's more helpful for me to not see. If I can't see it, then I can't buy it, you know? So the next thing that's really helped me is that I have made a window shopping list. So in the Notes app on my phone, I love the Notes app. I'm always in the Notes app. But I have a note called window shopping with like little grocery bags. And this, I wouldn't say that this is my wish list. I think this is different. To me, a wish list is something, for example, I got myself an iPad last month. This was a big purchase that I was really excited about, that I've known that I wanted for a long time, that I was putting money aside each paycheck. So I consider that to be a wish list item, like those bigger items that you want or maybe saving up for. To me, the window shopping list are things that I can actually afford, you know, a lip balm from Sephora. But I'm not sure if I actually need them or if I actually want them, or if I just like saw it somewhere and I just want that surge of happy for a minute from getting it. So these are things that I put on the list. If I see something that I like, whether it be on TikTok, on an app, even just like out in the wild, I will write it down on my window shopping list. And I'll come back to that list at the end of the week, sometimes at the end of the month, and I'll go through what I put on there. And honestly, it has been shocking the amount of things that come off of that list, even after a week, that I was like thinking about for an entire day, like, oh, I love this thing, I really want to get it. And by the end of the week, I was like, well, I can actually take that off the list. I don't need it. That to me was like shocking, the amount of things that I've taken off of the list. And I've noticed that this happens before, even when I make purchases, you know, I'll be dead set on something. I'm like, I really want this purchase. I get it. I'm excited when I first have it. And then it sits in the closet for months and I don't wear it, you know? And so I think that with this, instead of actually buying it and having it sit in your closet, you're really thinking about it and you're thinking, do I actually need this? Is this something that I want? And sometimes it will be something that you want, something that you want to spend your money towards. And that's okay, you know? But I think the purchase feels even better because you know this is actually something that I wanted to spend my money on, that I thought about, and that I'm excited about. Next thing I want to talk about is this scarcity mindset. I feel like there nowadays, especially with small businesses, with big sales, with things going viral, there's always this kind of like fear that places put into us where it's like, oh, this is the last one. Like you can only get this deal right now, or there's only 2 left in stock of this thing that you want. And something that I've learned is just that if almost everything comes back in stock. Like if something sells out and it was that big and it was that great, I'd say like 8 times out of 10, it's gonna come back in stock. So if it's not meant for you right in that moment and you don't wanna impulse spend right away, just wait until the next restock comes and you'll feel even better about that purchase because you thought about it or you saved up the money for it. It just feels better. Another like tactic I'd say is the free shipping and sales too. I know that this is a big girl math one where it's like, if you're gonna have to pay for shipping, then you might as well just add something else to the bag and get the free shipping. I think that this ring is a perfect example. I got this from Hey Harper. I love it. I have been wanting one of these like stack type rings for I'd say a year now, and I just haven't found the right one. Saw this one, absolutely loved it. And on their website, they were having like a buy one, get one free, one of our only sales of the year, you know, all that stuff. And so I found myself, I added this ring to the cart, and then I was trying to look for other things that I would maybe want. Like I was like, do I want this? I have enough necklaces like this, but maybe I'll just add it to the cart so that I get that get one half, I think it was buy one, get one half off actually. So that I get that half off and so that I get the free shipping and all of that. And then I like had a moment where I took a step back and I was like, Casey, why are we adding things to the cart that we don't actually need when it's gonna bring our total up way more than what it would be to pay for just the one ring and $5 in shipping, you know? So I feel like taking that pause, taking that moment, when there was a curveball thrown at me of this buy one, get one 50% off was great. And I love this ring and I love the amount that I spent on it. Another thing I've been doing that's really been helping is waiting until I run out of things to try a new one in that category. So I think that moisturizer is a great example of that. I ended up getting one in my intentional Sephora purchase, which I'll show you guys. But at one point, I feel like I had like 5 different moisturizers at one time because I had one that this influencer talked about, I had one for dry skin, I had one for XYZ thing, and I also live in a small apartment. So these things can take up space. And so I think that it's been really nice to just wait until I run out of something. And that's also made me be more intentional with the purchase initially. So when I buy this new moisturizer, that's the moisturizer that I'm gonna have until I run out of it. Do I like it enough to make that purchase and to have it be my one moisturizer, you know? I talked about this in my February reset, but I like to go through the things that I have at the start of each month. And the same goes for the start of each season for makeup. So something that I like to do at the start of each month, specifically for makeup, as I mentioned, I feel like makeup, Sephora was a big impulse spending thing for me. So I was like, how can I tackle this? And something that I do is that I go through all of the makeup that I own, the makeup that I have in my daily basket, but also my like overflow makeup, things that I have in my travel bag, anywhere else. I go through everything that I have, and it's really helpful for me to remember things that I have and to swap things out. Like, oh, I bought this lip oil, you know, a few months ago, and then I took it out of the rotation, but now I can add it back in. And I think knowing what you have helps you to not spend money on similar products. And I think this goes for clothes too. I feel like at the start of every season, you know, when the summer rolls around, I'm like, I want a ton of new dresses for all of my vacations. I want to feel super summer. And I start buying things even before looking at my suitcase. I've lived in New York and now in New Jersey, but we're in a small apartment. So I have to keep my summer clothes in a suitcase when it's the winter and my winter clothes in a suitcase when it's the summer, and in some bins under the bed too. But anyways, that's besides the point. But without even looking into those bins or into that suitcase, I'm online and I'm ordering dresses, you know? Whereas first, if I were to take out the bins, take out the suitcase, look at everything that I have, try things on, it helps you actually know what you have, and that helps you to be like, I actually don't need another strapless black dress because I have one right in here. And I think the same goes for when you're going on vacation. Disney is a big one. So I'm going on a Disney trip to in March, and I have been wanting to try a bunch of new things, and I have gotten a few new things that I'm really excited about. I've gotten I've basically done like one new thing per month of intentional purchases that I've wanted to buy for the trip. But what I've done too is I have all of my Disney things in a bin under my bed. And so again, I've forgotten a lot of the things that I have. So what I did was that I actually took out the Disney bin and I spread everything out. I think it's really great to take photos of everything too and keep it in like one of those outfit apps. But I keep, again, another note on my phone, and I wrote down like Disney outfits, Disney things that I have. And I have a running list of every single shirt, every single mini ear that I have. And it's not a lot, but at the end of the day, when I'm going to buy something, I'm like, do I really need another Epcot shirt that I'm only gonna wear maybe once or twice a year? You know, probably not. I think the whole goal with these things is to just get yourself to take a step back and to think. And if you decide that you still want that thing or you still need that thing, that's totally okay. I'm not someone that likes to guilt myself, but I'm proud of myself for taking the time to think about it. All right, my next one is a big one, and this is to normalize returning things, even if it's something that everyone loves, even if it's something that your favorite influencer loves. I think a lot of the times we make purchases because we see them as recommendations, or it's something that's viral and we're like, okay, it's gonna be great. And then it comes and you don't love it, but you keep it anyways, and then you kind of just forget about it, you know? I am a big returns girl, but I will say that the caveat is that you can't fall into the, oh, I'm just gonna get it and then I can return it, because then you end up with a bunch of things that you have to return, which is pretty annoying, and also kind of takes away the thinking about things if you're just using it as an excuse of, oh, I can return it. But what I mean is, you've thought about a purchase, you end up getting it, and you don't end up liking it. I think a great example for this is the Summer Fridays lip oils. I love Summer Fridays. Their lip balms are my absolute favorite. I have like one in each purse. I use them all of the time. And so when they came out with these lip oils, I was really excited. I saw a ton of TikToks on them. I was like, wow, these look amazing. It was that going out of stock, but I was like, it's okay. I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna take my time. I went to Sephora like a couple of weeks ago and they had it in stock. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get one. So I ended up getting the one lip oil. I came home, I tried it and I didn't love it. And I tried it on the next day and I just didn't like how the color looked on my skin. I feel like I tend to need, I like really big pops of color. And so I like my corals and my brights, and this was more of like a mauve, more of like a muted color. And a great thing about a lot of places, but specifically Sephora, is that they're so amazing with returns. You can pretty much, if you've tried something once or twice, you can go back to Sephora and return it. And that's exactly what I did with this. And even if you can't return it for like your full price of money back, getting a gift card that you can then use for something that you actually want, that you actually enjoy, is great. Another thing that's really helped me, obviously, is being aware of how much you have. I think when I was at my peak of impulse spending, I would just like run the credit card, not look at it until the end of the month when I had to pay my bill. Something that I've done, that I've started doing at the end of last year and with this year as well, is that I sit down and I look at my expenses every 2 weeks. So whenever I get my paycheck, when I get paid, Ryan and I sit down, we look at the expenses that we have. And I'm trying to make it more of a habit to open up my apps, like my credit card, my bank account, all that stuff, and just really do a check-in on what I have. I also have like an upcoming expenses doc where I put in there any travel. Travel is a huge priority for me this year, for me and Ryan. I think that I've noticed that travel just brings us the most amount of joy. We love experiences the older that we've gotten. Like, I'm 30 now and I feel like instead of buying a ton of tchotchkes and stuff like that, like I used to in my 20s, I just love doing like a nice vacation, a nice beach vacation in the summer, a nice trip to Disney. And so that's what we're saving our money for. So I think that looking at those upcoming expenses, budgeting how much I have to put into my bank account each week has also just helped me to be a little more aware of what exactly I have to work with. And then it makes me just be like, where do I actually want to put this money? And like I said, it's been a learning curve. I feel like I've had a lot of learning to do. I'm really happy that I, had that impulse spending era and all of that in my 20s when I did, and now that I've turned 30, I'm like, okay, we're gonna flip the switch and do things for me, because I feel that in the long run, when you're trying to spend intentionally and all of that, you're doing it for yourself. You're doing something for yourself. So as I said, I had my first non-impulse purchase at Sephora, maybe my like first or second. If you think that seeing this mini Sephora haul is gonna cause you to impulse spend, exit out of this video right now. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, I'll see you in the next one. But it's more so to just show like a realistic haul from Sephora, and these things were still expensive. Sephora is more expensive than drugstore. I'm someone that likes to treat myself to something, but at the same time, I think that the majority of the hauls that I see on here are just huge Sephora hauls and tons of things, and people go in and buy a ton of stuff. And I think that seeing something a little smaller, a little more realistic, and showing that it is possible if you are or were an impulse spender and Sephora is a trigger for you, it is possible to go in there to get what you need and to get out. So we always joke because Ryan's Sephora is this Italian market that's right by us. And every time he goes, he comes back with like a million different things. And I'm always laughing at him and I'm like, that's your Sephora, because he makes fun of me with Sephora. But anyways, he like came back from the Italian market today and I was like, oh, how was it? Like, what'd you get? And he was like, got the turkey and got out. Because we were like talking about impulse spending and stuff. So I got the turkey and I got out of Sephora, and I'm gonna share with you guys what I got. So first up, I got this moisturizer. It's the Dr. Jart Ceramidin Skin Barrier Moisturizing Cream. And I am a big fan of it so far. This is something that I waited until my moisturizer was fully done until I could get a new one. I was using the Summer Fridays one, which I liked, but I will say I went through it fairly quickly, and for the price, I like to have something that's gonna last me a little longer, where a little goes a long way, and that seems to be the case with this one. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is extremely thick. And so I've just been putting a little bit on. I have really dry skin. But anyways, I had seen great things about this. This is something that had been in my window shopping note for, I want to say, like a month. And then finally this week, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm out of my moisturizer, my Summer Fridays moisturizer. So I'm going to go and I'm going to use this one. I also like the size of it. I don't like the size of it for the price. This was pretty pricey. I think it's like $45, but I do like the size of it because it's not a huge commitment. I can try it, and once it's done, then I can switch things up and choose another moisturizer if I want. Okay, next up, this was my favorite one. So this has been on my window shopping list for a month too. These were both like hand in hand on the window shopping list. And this one, this is the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. So I love my lip balms. Like I said, I have the Summer Friday one, and those are the only ones that I have. I just love the applicator of that one. Obviously, I love the packaging of this one. It matches, it's my favorite orangey red. And what I love about it is that it is slightly tinted. So if you can see that, it is a little bit of that like corally pop of fun. And the smell is so good. It says that this one is a blood orange. So they just came out with these. They have like a strawberry and a bunch of other ones. This one is blood orange spritz. I beg to differ. This is guava. And I'm Cuban. My abuelo always used to make us like little guava and cheese crackers when we were little. So I think the smell is just really nostalgic for me. These Summer Fridays lip balms are all basically vanilla based, and I love vanilla, but I also love like a little bit of fruity. So I loved that this was tinted and that this was fruity. I think it's different from the lip balms that I have. It serves a different purpose. This is probably one that I'll throw in my bag so that when I'm out, I can have like a little bit of color on my lips when I'm out on the town, you know? So yeah, I was really excited about this. This was a treat me purchase, you know? It's not like I was out of lip balm or anything like that, but I had it on the window shopping list. I thought about it for a while. I was like, okay, I want to get this. And now I'm so happy and I love it. And I thought about it before buying it. The other thing, this was another window shopping one. This is the One Size On Till Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. So this, someone had like told me about, I think it was like a coworker or something. But I work very early in the morning. And I feel like on all the time talking to a lot of people in the studio, just a lot going on. And my makeup, I don't know. I feel like when you do your makeup at 5 in the morning, it wears off quicker. I don't know if that's just in my head, but anyways, I don't have a setting spray or anything like that. So I really wanted to try one. I heard great things about this one, that it lasts a really long time. And I ended up going with the travel size instead of the full size because I want to try it out. And if I do end up loving it, then I can always go back and get the full size. And then the lady at Sephora was so sweet that she gave me some samples. I was like chatting with her in the front and we were talking about normalizing returns. I returned the Summer Fridays lip oil and she said the same thing. She was like, I didn't love this thing either. I feel like it's hyped and I don't know why. But for certain people, I feel like it's great. But anyways, she gave me this Pharmacy Green Clean Makeup Melt Away Cleansing Balm. And I actually have this. I have the full size one. This is one of my tried and true like makeup removers. It's a balm and then it turns into oil and you kind of rub it on your face. And I feel like it always gets all of my mascara off. So I've been using this for a really long time, but I don't have the mini version. So I'm really excited I can use it for travel. And then she also threw in the Rich Cream. She threw in 2 of these. She said that I should try them. So I don't know. I'm gonna use these samples, probably put them in my travel pouch. And that's it for my little haul. That is what I got at Sephora. And I know that that might also seem like, you know, those are 3 things at Sephora, things add up. But at the end of the day, I feel like, again, the point of, or at least my goal, is to just spend intentionally. So I'm not cutting myself off and doing a no buy or anything like that. I just want to think about purchases before I make them. And with that, we're gonna close out this little chat. I love sitting down. I think that the chat videos are my favorite ones, just talking to camera and chatting with you guys. If you're not subscribed and you liked this video, I would love if you could subscribe. I make tons more like chat videos, reset videos, stuff like that. I hope that you got some tips. I am certain this is our year. 2024 is the year where we get our spending habits in check, where we're more intentional without guilting ourselves. And yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.